Now let's briefly look into replication lags. For simplicity, let's say both the followers are asynchronous. So first, the user is going to send out a write. The write has to be persisted on the leader. It persisted the write, send a confirmation message back to the user. Then it's going to send out the replication log to the follower nodes. Now the follower 1 has some lag, and the follower 2 also has some amount of lag before it can go ahead and persist the data in its local storage. And with that lag comes other sort of issues. For example, the first issue that we could look into is reading our own writes. So maybe as a user, I'm going to go ahead and ask the leader to write something for me. The leader also confirmed the write has persisted at this point in time. Now maybe after a few seconds I refresh the page here, and at this point I need to read the write that I have just made. Now since I'm going to read it, I need to go to a followers. That's how it works, right? Once the follower gets the request, it sends out the response. Now the follower 2 hasn't yet made the changes the leader has already made. So the response from follower 2 is outdated, even though I have inserted a new row, and here I got the confirmation that row has been written. After a few seconds, when I refresh the page, I no longer see the new row. Now, one of the solutions that we could think of is that when we're reading something that the user have the ability to change, always read it from the leader. But it might not be practical all the time. Maybe I'm looking at a page, and most of the things in the page can be edited by me. In that case, all of the reads has to go to the leader, which is not practical. So maybe another approach that we can think of is that as a client, I know that this is the timestamp. So this is the timestamp that I received the confirmation, right? So when I send out a read request to a replica, I'd also send out a timestamp. I'd place the timestamp on the replica. And if I find that the last updated timestamp for that user on this replica is a time prior to the timestamp, then it means that this follower node is not up to date. In that case, I could wait for the follower to catch up, or maybe I could then redirect the read to another replica, maybe this one. But the issue with this approach is unreliable clock. And apart from that issue, it could happen that here maybe I was requesting it from my computer, right? So my computer, and maybe here I am trying to read that data from my phone. So my computer has the timestamp, right? My computer has the timestamp, but my phone might not have the timestamp, right? It could be another issue. Another thing we could do is that once we have written something to the database, all of the reads that we do for the next maybe 1 minute would be from the leader. But then again, if we have the application set up in such a way that we need to write to the database frequently, then all of the reads are going to be ending up on leader. Another thing that can happen with replication lag is monotonic reads. So maybe I have posted a comment, and the leader persisted the change in the database. We have another user. The user goes to the post that I created the comment on. He's going to fetch the comments, and this time he's going to go fetch the comments from follower 1. Follower 1 has the most up-to-date comments. It means that this time the user is going to see the comment that I've created. For whatever reason, let's say the user refreshes the page, and this time he is going to fetch the comments from follower 2. Follower 2 hasn't yet persisted the changes, so this time the user is not going to be able to see my comment. So here the user was seeing the most up-to-date information, whereas the user is looking at something which is in the past. So monotonic read means if the user has seen newer data in later transaction, they should not see older data. One of the ways to achieve monotonic reads would be to direct the user to the same replica for reads. So this user should always be reading from follower 2. Now, a problem with this approach might be that if follower 2 goes down, then they would eventually have to be redirected to another replica.